greetings to Honorable Chairperson and other respected dignitaries. Warm namaskar to all the industrial doctors who are associated with the Association of Environmental and Occupational Health Delhi. Basically, happiness has a fundamental formula of peace. For a fundamental formula, I would say my revered Gurudev, His Holiness Ashutosh Maharaj Ji, has discovered this fundamental formula of peace for the humanity. And I would try to decode this formula scientifically, psychologically and metaphysically today before this small group of audience. Small is always beautiful. So let us interact also during the course of talk. Let us begin with few questions. ईमानदारी से आपको उनके आंसर्स देने हैं. Think about the question and then answer. Question number 1. Do you expect out of your own self and your stressed clients and the people around you never to think negative and always entertain a positive thought process? How many of you expect out of your own self and your people around always to think positive and never to think negative? If yes, please raise your hands. Everyone. Now, another part of the same question. How many of you and your people around are able to always maintain this desired thought pattern, positive thought pattern? How many of you are always able to float in this desired thought, positive thought? No one. You're a saint on earth, sir. Thank you. We have certain saints here. Always positive. Good. Next question. How many of you know and also tell people around you not to be frustrated, restless and anxious, and with a balanced, equanimous state of mind, take up decisions of life? How many of you know this? That we need not be anxious and frustrated, but with a balanced outlook, take up the decisions and challenges of life. How many of you know this? Know this. Everybody knows this. Please raise your hands. Everyone knows this. Now the next part of the question is, how many of you... Ji? Yes.
May I intervene?
Yes, sure.
Frustration is sort of inevitable thing. So many of things they are continuously happening and frustration cannot be avoided. If a judge ignores the justice continuously, person has to be frustrated.
Because these are different, these are the perceptions.
The system ignores the system of justice continuously. One has to be frustrated.
That's your definition of frustration. Please sit down. Thank you. Let us, first carry on with the talk. And if we have certain questions, we can entertain them after the talk, right? क्योंकि frustration को seize किया जा सकता है, ये इस talk का पूरा purpose है discuss करने का. Now the last question is, how many of us are really? The one thing is, we know that we need not be frustrated. But the next part of the question is, how many of us are really, truly, practically able to maintain that composed and cool state of mind whenever life throws challenges? How many of us? No. So brothers and sisters, can you see here a dichotomy? A seeming contrasting difference between what? Information and implementation. Expectation and execution. We know what to do, but how to do is a big problem. I heard this story from a renowned psychologist who delivered a talk at North Campus, Delhi University. Once there was an aunt, cheaty थी. She went to a psychologist and lamented, "Sir, I'm really suffering. छोटी सी हूँ, दिखाई देती नहीं हूँ, जो भी देखो मुझे क्रश करके आगे चलता बनता है. I easily get trampled underfoot. So please help me what to do. Now the psychologist thought for a while and then he said, I've understood your problem and I have a solution for you. ऐसा करो, तुम चींटी से मक्खी बन जाओ. Be a housefly. जो भी पास आए उड़ जाया करो. Now this ant jumped into ecstasy. Wow, sir, what a great solution. Thank you so much. अब तो आप देखना बस. And she was about to leave. And then all of a sudden there were certain firings in her neurons. And she held up. And she said, hold on. Sir, ये तो बताइए चींटी से मक्खी बनना कैसे है? How to be a housefly? Spat came the reply from the psychiatrist, the doctor. That's your job, dear. I have told you what to do. How to do is your prerogative. Brothers and sisters, please don't take me otherwise. You are doctors sitting here. But this is actually the hard reality of medical prescriptions, counseling sessions, modern psychology, medical advices today. So what we need to do is to go beyond theories and look for a practical solution of happiness and peace. Practical solution that deals with how. That does just not tell us what to do, but how to do. And for understanding this practical solution, today I have before me, I have devised this thought shaft. You can see in this thought shaft, on the x-axis, we have basically the dependence, the inclination. On the extreme right, we have world, paristhiti, circumstances. On the extreme left, we have manasthiti, the mind, mental dispositions, mood pangs, mood swings. And on the center, neutrality center, we have consciousness, samsthiti. At the y-axis, we have TPM, thought per minute. Now, if you can visualize in this graph, in this thought shaft, that our dependence, our thoughts, our experiences, they keep shuttling between manasthiti and paristhiti. Sometimes we are troubled by manasthiti, our own mental dispositions or mood pangs. Sometimes we are troubled and affected by the paristhiti, the circumstances, the world. Right? So we keep shuttling like this. You can see the curves. We keep shuttling between the manasthiti and paristhiti all through the day or 24/7 all through the life. Now the interesting fact that is reflected out of this thought shaft, you can see, the more is your dependence, the larger is the expanse of the curve. The more is your dependence either on manasthiti, your mental disposition, or more is your dependence on paristhiti, the world, the larger is the expanse of the curve. And higher is the TPM, thought per minute, thoughts per minute. The more you're dependent on world or your mental disposition, the higher is your thought frequency, TPM, thoughts per minute. Now, if, for example, you are at 100 TPM, आप 1 मिनट में 100 thoughts सोचते हैं, आपकी brain firings होती हैं. Thoughts does not mean the thoughts coming to you, even the firings happening inside your brain, synapses. If you have 100 TPM, at this point, you're always restless. You're always in a state of you're fidgety. Always, unhappy. And you feel that somewhere something is not okay. This is such a state, high TPM, 100 TPM. Your state is somewhat like that of, I would say, thinker. Next screen, please. How to shuttle to the next screen? So your state is somewhat like this thinker. You can see this thinker. Rest में एक sculptor हुए Rodin. Rodin in his lifetime has sculpted a masterpiece called the Thinker. This is Thinker. You can see this thinker. Just visualize the way he is thinking, sitting. He is actually thinking at high TPM. High TPM means you can see right from his feet to his legs, to his thighs, to his back, to his arms, to his neck, to his forehead. His nerves are very, very strained and tensed. And he seems to be quite worried. His body is stiff. So this is thinker. Actually, brothers and sisters, with high TPM, high thoughts, frequency of thoughts, we personify thinker, this thinker. And we all the time, have thoughts, high frequency of thoughts. This is our state at high TPM. But if somehow we learn to lower down our TPM, if somehow we learn to lower down our TPM from 100 to 80 to 60 to 40, then you will start feeling that things are becoming hunky-dory for you. Fresh, natural happiness has started oozing out of you. And if somehow you learn to lower down your thought patterns, TPM, from 40 to 20 to 0, then what happens? Then you have Buddha experience. You can see on the right side of the screen, this is Buddha. Look at his face, no tussle, no hassle. He seems to be so beautifully absorbed in himself. Shantam Anandam. State of perfect peace, tranquil poise, absolute bliss. चाइना में एक बहुत बड़ी बुद्ध की मूर्ति है. Underneath that statue, a statement is written. He is the greatest thinker because he is not thinking at all. ये सबसे बड़े विचारक हैं क्योंकि ये विचारों से ऊपर उठ चुके हैं. Yes, brothers and sisters, thoughtlessness. He has learned to basically surpass his thought plane. He has learned to transcend his disturbing mental patterns. And this is Buddha experience. Just understand, there is a mystical paradox. By ceasing to think, you become peaceful. And not only peaceful, when you lie in the low thought frequency zone from 40 to 0, then what happens? Automatically start arising in you a very different kind of unwavering disposition of mind for correct decision making. Unwavering wisdom starts arising in you. Unwavering. So not by thinking you arrive at a right decision, but by ceasing to think, you arrive at the right decision. This is a beautiful Vedantic paradox and it is true. So, what is the idea? How to basically, the $1 million question of our life is, how to shift or evolve ourselves from the thinker state to Buddha state. That's the question. If you see, look at the thought shaft. The idea is how to basically decrease this expanse of curves and lower down the TPM. How to do that? Research of years together has unraveled this, stunning reality before us. There seems to be no science, no technology, no model, no algorithm, no academic modality or system as of now which can help us in lowering down our TPM, thought frequencies. All doctors sitting here, can you suggest me any model or algorithm that has been devised as of now, which can help us in reducing the thought frequencies, TPM? The main cause of our stresses, main cause of our unhappiness, we do not have. And I today say it with total allegiance, responsibility and credibility, and experiential clarity that the solution lies only and only in the supra-mental, supra-intellectual, metaphysical science of our rishis of the yore, and that is eternal science of Brahmagyan's meditation. That is the only solution, and that is reflected in this thought shaft also. If you see, this solution is actually hidden, encoded in this thought shaft. If you see, somehow on x-axis, if we shift our dependence from manasthiti to consciousness, samsthiti, and shift our dependence from paristhiti to samsthiti, consciousness, means if we we reduce the gap between mind and the consciousness, world and the consciousness, then what we find, as we reduce the gap between the two, the expanse starts decreasing. The curve, you can see the curve. वो छोटे होते जा रहे हैं. Expanse starts decreasing and TPM lowers down. So what is the idea? This is actually a Vedantic, huge Vedantic bomb. This ultimate formula of peace. If you reduce the gap, distance between mind, your mental disposition and consciousness, everything starts falling into the right place. Everything starts falling into the right place. So this solution, decreasing the gap and distance between mind and the consciousness, this solution is beautifully reflected and depicted and described, I would say, in Mundaka Upanishad as tree model. Our rishis, great scientists, human scientists, they have basically described this formula of happiness in Mundaka Upanishad as tree model. This model says that there is a huge tree, and upon this huge tree are seated two birds. दो पक्षी बैठे हैं पेड़ पर. The first bird is the upper bird, sitting perched on the topmost branch, and it's a golden bird, effulgent bird. Now this bird is a steady bird, calm bird, peaceful bird, stable in itself, absorbed in itself. But then now there is another bird, that lower bird keeps hopping on branches from one branch to another, on lower branches. This lower bird is not a steady bird, it's very unstable. The moment it catches the sight of a fruit, it gets attracted towards the fruit, passionate about the fruit, grabs that fruit, eats it, and the moment this bird eats that fruit, it laments, because fruits are often sour and bitter. So it starts crying. So this is a whimsical bird which is not at peace, it's a desperate bird, the lower bird. Now Upanishad says that this human body is the tree, and this lower bird is akin to the mind, and this higher bird is what? This higher bird is consciousness seated here at the medulla center of consciousness. This is medulla center, the topmost branch of this tree, body-like tree. So now the question is raised in the Upanishad, how this lower bird be made a happy bird? इस नीचे वाले पक्षी को happy bird कैसे बनाएं? Rishi says, beautiful analogy. Rishi says, Isham masya mahimanam pashyati. When the lower bird sees the effulgent glory of the higher bird,
2 minutes left.
When the lower bird basically reaches up to the higher bird, meets that higher bird and says hello to that higher bird, then what happens? Then this lower bird also becomes as happy as the higher bird. That's the formula. And brothers and sisters, it works. It's actually a spiritual resonance. Just imagine. There are two tuning forks. In physics, we have learnt about law of resonance. Law of resonance, what it says? There is one tuning fork vibrating with low frequency. And now there is another tuning fork that is vibrating with high frequency. Now when this high frequency tuning fork is brought in the vicinity of this low frequency tuning fork, what happens? Physics says, if they have natural frequencies, same natural frequencies, then the resonance will take place. High frequency of this tuning fork will get resonated to this low frequency tuning fork. And this low frequency tuning fork would also start resonating and vibrating with the high frequency. Both will start resonating with the high frequency. This is what really happens. When you learn to meditate in such a way, Brahmagyan's way, your mind gets uplifted to this center of consciousness. This consciousness center is vibrating with high positive frequencies, divine frequencies, peaceful frequencies, happy frequencies. And when your mind basically connects to this, is brought in the vicinity of this higher bird, this consciousness, the lower mind, the negative mind, unhappy, stressed mind, depressed mind, that also starts resonating with the high divine frequencies of the consciousness. This works. This practically works. This formula has been given to us down the line from Vedic age by all genuine, sane, true, authentic spiritual gurus. is the glory of India. India has bestowed this formula to the world. So this formula is very much applicable. And I would suggest today, I would just finally suggest today, आज नहीं तो कल आप every human on this earth will have to learn this art, this science of connecting the mind to the consciousness and practicing this science. So please, if you can, come forward and learn this kind of meditation. And I will also make a clarion call. Doctors are sitting here. We have the experience. You can experiment over our experience. You can conduct scientific investigations on the, on the physiological, psychological, cognitive, behavioral patterns of eternal bliss meditators. And you will find that what difference actually happens here after meditation. We'll provide you fresh human brains, live human laboratories of happiness. You can come forward for this investigation. Thank you so much. Thank you. Om Namo Namaha.